Welcome back to Beer with Nat. Today's guest is Julie O'Grady, Head of Sales, Marketing and Events for Liverpool's Neptune Brewery. Although Julie is relatively new to her current full-time role at Neptune, she's been a part of the brewery since it opened in 2015, as she and her husband Les founded the brewery together. For the first few years, Julie was working full-time for the NHS and then the Liverpool City Council, and would help out with the brewery on nights and weekends. She'd squeeze in a few tweets during her lunch break as well. Julie's involvement in the beer community goes beyond Neptune though. Just before the brewery opened, Julie founded Ladies That Beer, a meetup group for beer-loving ladies based in Liverpool, because she noticed a lack of women at the beer festival she was attending. From its beginnings as a social group, Ladies That Beer has taken on new aims to engage, educate, and empower women who love beer. Hence why Julie was one of the co-organizers of the event I recorded at, the Ladies Big Beery Meetup. Julie from Ladies That Beer and Alex Shaw from the Crafty Beer Girls, who you heard from in episode 2 of Beer with Nat, planned this event in Manchester to bring beer-loving ladies from across the country together for an afternoon. And that's where I recorded my first ever live episode of Beer with Nat. It's pretty similar to a regular episode, but with a few more woos and claps from my ever-so-engaged audience. In this episode, Julie talks us through her and Les's decision to open Neptune Brewery and the fun story of where the name came from, along with what it was like to balance the brewery work and her full-time job to when she knew she was ready to make the transition to beer full-time. She tells us what aspects of her work she's most passionate about, what she likes to get up to outside of beer, and what she enjoys best about being a part of the beer industry. Here she is. What are we drinking today?
We are drinking On the Bounty, which is a coconut and chocolate stout made with Sriracha Ace hops, which is either one of those hops you love or you hate.
And unfortunately, I am on the I don't like it so much end, but I do like the chocolate and the coconut.
It's amazing how many people have actually said that they dislike coconut as well, but when they've tasted that they actually enjoy it. You know, it's something that they didn't expect.
Yeah.
Some people think, ooh, that's really coconutty. Other people can't taste as much coconut as they thought. So it's one of those, isn't it? It divides opinion. You either like it or you don't.
And is there
fine.
coconut in it, or that's just from the Sriracha Ace?
No, there is coconut in it as well. So it's 5.8. So
Julie, I'm glad I saved this for later.
Just above your normal session beer, but yeah, it's easy drinking. It's very chocolatey, got that coffee notes to it. I can certainly taste the coconut to it as well. So,
I definitely can.
You know, it's a lush drink. You know, we do it on keg and we do it on cask as well. And we've just canned it in 440ml cans as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
So it'll be available in about a week's time.
All right, so I should probably tell people who we are.
We?
Yeah, we is Neptune Brewery.
It is.
So you have just started working full-time for Neptune.
Yeah.
But you've been a part of the industry for a few years because you started the brewery with your husband, Les, back in 2015.
Yes.
So take us back to the conversations when you guys decided together you wanted to start a brewery. Were you ready for it? Did you have experience?
Are you ever ready to start a brewery?
It's a fair question.
2015, we had a business which was an aquatic shop called Neptune Aquatics. So we dealt with pond fish, marine fish, tropical fish, you name it. After 30 years, we decided we wanted a change, so we started home brewing. And yeah, we just thought, you know what, we love beer. A lot of our friends were in the beer community as well, so we just thought, let's have a go.
Yeah.
Started doing the beer on home brew, passed it to friends and other breweries that we knew. And yeah, they were very positive, they were very encouraging. So we decided, yeah, okay, let's give this a go. So we sold the business that we had and started on a 1-barrel brewery kit. We thought we best not run before we can walk. And literally it's grown from there. The first year that we started, we had to increase, so we went up to a 6-barrel brewery within a year. Now we're expanding our fermenters. We're still keeping with the 6-barrel, but we're getting an extra large mash tun, and we are getting 3 new fermenters as well because we need to keep up with the demand, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's great. It's funny because I always think about one of the reasons I wanted to start this podcast is many people who have come to beer have had varying backgrounds. I've never spoken to anyone who owned an aquatic shop before, so there you go. That's a very good story.
That's where the name Neptune Brewery comes from, because we tried so many different names, and you're sitting there and you thought, do you know what, Neptune Aquatics, why don't we just call it Neptune Brewery?
Yeah.
There's the story, that's how we've got where we are.
Yeah.
So,
And then you carry on that branding through all the names, like on the Bounty. And
yeah,
some
we
amazing
try
ideas.
to, not all our beers are either sea or fish related. We do, you know, we do try to have some sort of theme that is to do with water or fish or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, so people get an idea, and obviously, you know, people get to know who we are by just looking at the trident,
Yep.
which is the main
Which is your
focus
logo.
of what the logo is.
Yeah. So for many years, you balanced doing a job at Liverpool City Council, so working in an office during the day, and then doing events for the brewery at night, and doing whatever you needed to do to help the business grow.
Yeah.
What was that like balancing your two different worlds, night and day?
Ooh. Before I actually was at Liverpool City Council, I was a manager in the NHS for 20 years.
Wow.
So I took voluntary redundancy from there and then went on to work for Liverpool City Council, as you say. So trying to do things during the day and support the brewery was quite difficult. So sometimes I'd be doing my day job and also being on the social media, tweeting away.
Lunchtime tweets.
In between dealing with something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was difficult at times to manage it, but I thought I managed it quite well. It's a joint effort between myself and my husband, and as I say, we've just grown from there really. So it got to the stage where we needed extra hands, so we employed a drayman / brewery assistant, and Gavin started with us at the beginning of the year, and he's doing really well. He's a lovely guy, and then I started in July.
Yeah.
So I've taken on the role of head of sales, marketing and events.
I know, that's quite the title.
Yes, it is, but yeah.
So what made you feel ready to make that transition, and what's it been like being full-time in the beer industry?
I think we were ready at the brewery. We were ready. We needed that extra pair of hands on a permanent basis. Me just doing it ad hoc and as and when I can just wasn't cutting it really. So to move forward, we needed somebody in the brewery to deal with the sales, the emails, the phone calls. So that was the most natural step for me to do that. And then obviously we were doing Meet the Brewer events before, but now obviously it's becoming a more regular event, tap takeovers and things as well. So yeah, that literally I needed to be in the brewery, and to be honest, I couldn't wait to get out of Liverpool City Council and start doing it.
And take on your new role.
Yes, yeah.
And even before Neptune, so it was earlier that year, you founded Ladies That Beer,
Yes.
a social group for women who like beer up in the Liverpool area, but you've since expanded and sort of grown to be the representative for the North, I'd say.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start Ladies That Beer, and how has it grown over the last nearly 4 years since you started it?
The lack of women in beer. Ultimately, that's what it was about. Years and years I've been going to beer festivals, various festivals across the country, and when I looked around, there was more men than there was women. The ratio was, it was something like 1 to 5, and I was thinking, why is there not enough? Why is there no women here, or why is it very minimal? And some women that were there were drinking cider, they were drinking wine for wives.
How many times have we all heard that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just thought, why is this? So for me, then obviously with knowing that we were going to start the brewery professionally as well, I just thought we need to do something about this. What is it that I can do? So I have a lovely group of friends who enjoy beer as much, or some of them even more than I do.
Shocking. Someone more than you?
No names.
Are they in this room?
I wouldn't like to say, Joe, but so as I say, a lovely group of ladies, and some of them also had partners that were in the beer industry as well. And I just said, look, I've noticed that the lack of women at beer festivals, even going into a pub, most women are not drinking beer. I've got this idea, why don't we start something that will encourage women to drink beer and feel that, they're part of a community, empower women to feel that they've got as much knowledge as men, that, they can do exactly the same thing in the beer industry as what men can do. And literally it just stemmed from there. They said, and we have grown massively since that. And to be honest, sometimes I actually just stop and I think, wow, you know, this is amazing. And I'm
Yeah.
ever so grateful for the amount of support that we get, not just from women, but we get a lot of support from men as well, who think it's a fantastic thing. You know, more power to women, women getting involved in the industry, more women, you know, being out there. And yeah, you know, pubs, bars, breweries, you know, it's amazing. And as I say, not just me, but you know, the group is really grateful for that support from everyone.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to just think it. So we're in a room at the moment with many of the ladies from Ladies at Beer, ladies up from London from Crafty Beer Girls. So it feels quite powerful to be sat in a room with women who love beer, who've all come
Yeah.
together just to share an afternoon
Yeah.
together because of a
Absolutely.
shared passion.
Yeah.
And in addition to sort of the social nature of how Ladies at Beer began, you have also worked on some other initiatives to encourage pubs and bars and breweries to really welcome everyone, no matter what their background is, and make places in beer open to anyone who wants to enjoy it. So earlier this year, you worked with Melissa Cole and others to help launch the Everyone Welcome initiative. And where we are now, 57 Thomas Street, part of Marble, is a proud Everyone Welcome venue. And the initiative is to, quote, provide beer venues and events with a strong statement that everyone who walks through the door is welcome, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, race, health, religion, age, or disability. Can you let me know a little bit more about where the idea came from and what your role was in helping to bring it to life?
Initially, you know, the credit goes to Melissa. She's a fantastic advocate of women in beer. And, you know, it was her who had originally said, let's start something. What can we do? So conversations went between myself, other ladies who were also sat in this room about how can we support that initiative, what can we do, what do we need to have in that initiative to make sure that we don't forget something or alienate people. So that's really how it began. So the conversations via email. There was lots of other people. It wasn't just a small group. There was other wider people that were involved in that as well, who owns not just breweries, but who own bars that were in the beer industry as well, drinkers and so on. So we had an event which was in Manchester, and you know, there was a number of us who sat on the stage and basically said what it is that Everybody Welcome initiative is about, and how we're supporting people that, you know, nobody should not be able to come into an event or a venue and feel discriminated against, irrespective of what your colour is, your religion, disability, you know, sex, whatever. You know, at the end of the day, that should be across the board for everybody, not just in the beer world.
Yeah.
You know, you come in, you want to enjoy yourself, and no one has the right to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. You know,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. No, do what you want to do, and no one has. And I'm very passionate about that as well, as a lot of people are. So, you know, that's what that initiative is about. And it's fantastic to see that, you know, it's being rolled out. Obviously, as you said, Marble here, there's places in Liverpool, the Grapes, who've also got that up as well. You know, Tom's Tap in Crewe. There's lots of places in London who are also supporting that, in Newcastle, you know. So it's just letting people know who think it's okay to go, I was only kidding, it was tongue in cheek. No, you're not only kidding. It's not acceptable to use that excuse. And it's amazing how many people think they can get away with that. It's only a joke, and you know.
And even if we
it's not.
start it within our beer world, we can then roll it
Absolutely.
out and ensure that
Yeah.
it goes even wider.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot on your plate. Despite just starting full-time, I say that in air quotes, in the beer industry, you are the head of sales, marketing, and events. You've got Ladies at Beer. You've helped work on the Everyone Welcome initiative. What aspect of your role do you enjoy the most?
God. I'm passionate about the brewery because it's something my husband and I started, and we are now at a position where we didn't think it was going to grow so fast. You know, not a lot of people tend to know that I also co-own Neptune Brewery. I try to have that sort of gap between Ladies That Beer and Neptune. It's not about promoting Neptune. Of course I will if there's certain events going on, like I do with other
Here
breweries
today,
and other pubs and what have you. But yeah, we're doing really well. We brew some really, really good beer. So I'm passionate about that, and I'm very proud of where we're at. I'm also proud about how far Ladies That Beer has gone, and the support that we get. You know, we're not just a people may see us as just a social group. It's about empowering women as well to feel that they're comfortable, that they belong to, you know, a group, if you like, of women who are prepared to just step out that little bit and say, do you know what, I'm a woman, I like beer, and you know, I don't feel that it's just a man's world. That, you know, to empower women to go to the bar and say, can I have a taste, not feel intimidated, whether there's a man behind the bar, whether there's loads of men drinking. Beer has no sex. It is a beer to be enjoyed by everybody. You know, it's also educational. We do bottle shares, so it's good. We will sit, we will drink, and we will talk about those beers, what we can taste in those beers. The beginning of the year, we did have an off-tasting event, which we are also going to pick up on again next year. So there's a lot more education, as well as the social side of things that we're doing next year. You know, having women that come from Leeds, Manchester, Wigan, Preston, they don't just come from Liverpool to say, my friends don't drink beer. And I feel that it's great to come to, you know, a social setting, learn about beer and mix with other women and be able to try those different beers and feel that I can get out the house and just enjoy myself as well. So
education, empowerment, and that sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Right, and we've got this world that's so connected now with social media that it is nice to just say, hey, we're doing this meetup, come on down. You don't need to know anybody beforehand.
No.
You just get to turn up, have instant friends, enjoy a good chat.
There's ladies who've turned up today who have come on their own, and some of them have worried, or you know, it doesn't matter. We're all here for the same reason. We all love beer. It's about supporting each other. You know, you make friends, you just start chatting, whether it's over beer or it's something else. You know, and that's the great thing. There's other beer groups that have started up since we started, you know, and that is fantastic. You know, some of them have said, we've started that because ladies at beer have been an inspiration, and we thought, yeah, we can start that in our, and you know what, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
It is about everybody working together, no one trying to be, it's not about that group's better than this group, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's not. It's about everybody being together and pulling together and supporting each other. At the end of the day, we're all in the same boat. We all want to show that, you know, women in beer are just as good as what men are doing. The jobs that they can do, brewing, whether it's packaging, doesn't matter, serving behind the bar. You know, we are all equal in those terms.
Yeah.
You know, let's face it, at the end of the day, women started brewing many thousands of years ago before men did, didn't they? But it's not about, you know, I don't want people to think, or men especially to think, oh, you know, we've got it in for men. It's not about that at all. We just want equality, and to say that at the end of the day, you know, you're no better than us, we're no better than you, we're all equal, and we can do the same thing.
We can do this
Let's
together.
just enjoy the liquid that's in the glass and have a good time.
Yeah. Hear, hear. Very well said. So, clearly, you're very passionate about beer. Where did you discover your love of beer?
Ooh, when I was 16, when I used to, I shouldn't really say this, should I? I should be saying, well, I was 18. I was
We'll round up. It's okay.
and I was drinking lager. You know, at the end of the day, you know, you're going that far back that there wasn't any craft beer or anything like this. So I used to drink lager, and now and again I'd have a bit of lager and black and so on. And then, it just sort of stemmed from there, really. And I got more into beer when I started doing the home brew. And my husband was, you know, let's go to this beer festival, let's go to that. So literally just starting on basic beers, pale ales, you know, even something simple like raspberry blonde, Saltaire raspberry blonde was one of the...
Simple, oh my goodness.
One of the loveliest beers that I tasted, and I thought, oh right, and then I went on to Belgium beers, and then I found what is my love. I love dark beers.
Okay.
I love lots of beers, but dark beers are... If I'm going to go for something out of an array, I will always make sure that I will have a couple of dark beers as well. So especially barrel aged, you know, stouts.
We'll save those for later today after we finish the recording. We can have some more of those. Now I know you recently took a trip to the States. you were rocking your t-shirt from Gigantic in Oregon, one of the breweries you visited in Portland. So you went to California, Oregon, and Washington, visited loads of breweries.
Yes.
What stood out for you? What was most memorable? And what inspiration have you brought back home from that trip?
Lots of beers.
Yeah, good. Any to share today?
We had to pay for an extra bag. We knew it was going to happen, but we paid for an extra bag to be on the plane. Do you know what? Every place we visited, it was Seattle, Portland and San Francisco, each one had something different. They're amazing places to visit. Like Portland's known for how many breweries it's got there, you know, how many bars, and literally it's no joke, there is a bar on every corner, breweries round, you know. We planned our event, we're going to here, and as we walk past one place, we're going to, we didn't know about that, no, let's jump in.
So add to the list.
The list was just ever ongoing. But no, you know, we went to Seattle again, that was the same. Seattle, I have to say, is a special place in my heart because it's a smaller place than San Francisco as such and Portland, but it was so beautiful as well. It was so lovely, the bars, and you know, everyone was just so welcome, as they were in Portland, San Francisco. Ruben's, Adam, we spent a few hours in the afternoon with Adam from Ruben's, and he was fantastic, showed us around the brewery. You know, we chatted beer, we drank beer, you know. Yeah, we bobbled home. But yeah, that was fantastic. You know, Van and Emily from Gigantic, we, you know, again, they were so welcoming. And it was amazing. You know, they supported us, as in, you know, giving us information. And yeah, drinking big, and, you know, gave me this t-shirt that I'm rocking
Julie's
today.
matching the design on her t-shirt. I'll have to get a photo to share with everybody.
So
since you can't see it on the podcast.
you know, Cloudburst as well, San Fran. You know, there was no one that Modern Times as well. We went to visit. We've covered so many breweries. I'm still waiting for the call from the transplant list. I don't think my liver's recovered fully. But do you know what? It was just amazing. Everyone was just so welcoming. And when they heard where we come from and obviously what we were doing, they were like, you know, hey, thanks so much for coming over. Here's a beer. And we were like, no, okay, thank you. So yeah, it was amazing. And I'd say to anybody, you know, if you're thinking of going on a beer vacation, then they're three amazing places to visit. You won't be disappointed.
And do you find it's easier to connect when we've got this shared language of beer? You can say, I like this flavors, I like that. Have you been to that brewery? Have you been to this place?
Yeah, it helps, but I'd say even if you didn't know anything about beer, that those people are there to support you, the knowledge that they've got about the beers that they're selling behind the bar, is, you know, whether it's a brew tap or not, is fantastic, you know, and they will let you taste, as a lot of places do here in the UK. You know, their knowledge of beers is brilliant, and I think that's the one thing to a degree that we lack in the UK was behind bars, that not everybody has that good knowledge of beer or what they're serving, and I think that is so important. If you want to know what's in that beer or how does it taste, or asking someone what type of beers do you like, you want someone to have that knowledge to be able to say, well, I think you would like this. This is hoppy, this is flowery, you know, this is bitter, you know. So, but they at the moment, I'd say the Americans have, you know, sort of
doing quite well at it. Yeah. I know this. I don't know what your answer might be to this one. Hence why I'm keen to ask. I'm wondering what you get up to outside of beer, as you work with your husband in a brewery. Your daughter Rebecca is here today, proud member of Ladies That Beer as well. So beer is in the family. What do you like to do outside of beer?
Sleep.
Eat, drink, sleep, repeat. That's life.
Eat.
Yeah.
I like to eat. I'm passionate about food, as well as beer, and I'm, you know, again, beer and food pairings. We've got a couple of events on with Neptune that are doing food and beer pairings over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, I like to eat. I like to just chill, basically. I like to watch crap TV. Yeah, it just takes me away from the stresses that I've got to deal with every day, whether it's in work or family things. and just chill out. I love to walk. I'm very, very lucky where we live. We're not far from a canal. So just walking along the canal and just, you know, chilling out, feeling the wind in my hair. And it might sound corny, but yeah, it's as simple as that. You know, nothing too much. But yeah, just to get me time, you know, to chill and relax and doing something that I like on my own, or that Les and I, who's my husband, do together.
So you're relatively new, as I said, to this full-time role at Neptune, but of course it's been a very big part of your life for the last 4 years now. Yeah, so if we look 3-4 years in the future, what would you like us to be talking about if I was to interview you again then? What's Neptune accomplished? What have you accomplished?
Oh, well, if I had the answer to that.
What would you like to work towards?
Well, again, you know, we've got more fermenters coming into the brewery. It would be great if we can maybe expand again. Just get more beer out, to be honest. There's some fantastic breweries across the UK. The larger breweries that, you know, a lot of people know about here, you know, are sort of sweeping the market at the moment. But you know what? There's some bloody good breweries that are smaller out there and deserve to get some acknowledgement. And I'm not just talking about Neptune, we brew good beer, but other breweries out there as well. So, you know, it's important from where we've started and where we're heading to not forget our roots no matter how big we get, and say, give that little person a chance as well. Try those beers if you've not heard of them. Give that brewery feedback as well, because at the end of the day, we're brewing beer. We test the beer, of course we do, and we, you know, via various methods, whether we're happy with it or not, and you know, thankfully we are. And it goes out, but it's the consumers that will make that decision on drinking, and everyone has different palates. So, you know, don't just always go for the bigger brewers who are brewing some fantastic beers. I'm not saying they're not, but champion the smaller person at the end of the day as well. Give them a chance, give them an opportunity as well, and, you know, support them. So for us, just moving forward, hearing that people enjoy our beer and just expanding as and when we need to, really.
Yeah, I think that's a great takeaway, knowing that everyone had to be small at some point.
Absolutely.
To make sure that even someone's just starting up. Yeah. Some people might always want to stay small, so make sure that you recognize and give them a shot too.
Yeah.
All right, my last question for you. What do you enjoy most about being a part of the beer industry?
People. I love people. I'm very much a people person. I love to meet people, men, women, hear their stories, hear where they've come from, what are they about, supporting them in however I can do, you know, and obviously them supporting the beer industry as well. Or other things, you know, one of my friends has a cake company and she makes the most amazing cakes, Liverpool City Council. You know, so it's things like that. I love people. I love hearing about individuals, where they are in their lives, you know, where they've started, where they want to go as well, you know, and it's taking an interest with people and just listening as well, you know, being an advocate of what they do. It's not all about you. It's about other people as well, and being cohesive and supporting those people and getting that support back as well.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here, to help share stories like yours. So thank you for listening, to all the people that you've listened to, and for being here to share your story today too.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, Julie. Cheers.
Cheers.
And there you have it, the first ever live episode of Beer with Nat. What a treat. Thanks so much to Julie, not only for chatting with me, but for helping to organize the event. And thank you to everyone attending for being such a supportive audience. I can't wait to host another one. On the next episode, you'll hear from Ree Scales, People and Development Manager at Mother Kelly's, an independent group of pubs, bars, and bottle shops based here in London. How many times have I said that people are the best bit about this industry? You've got someone like Ree to thank for that. If you're liking what you're hearing, please do leave me a rating or review, as it helps new listeners to discover the show. Thanks, and chat soon.